Now it is on. Yes. Welcome to the World Economic Forum session on important topic of city and fourth industrial revolution. As you know, the fourth industrial revolution with the massive data generation and all the insights are changing the way we live and work in the speed that we have never ever experienced as a human being. The World Economic Forum, as a public-private stakeholder platform, wants to reach out to cities to help prepare to embrace the impact of fourth industrial revolution. Because the changes are happening in such a speed and in a multitude of issues, city leaders have to prepare their cities for urban transformation. And they have to constantly innovate. The innovative solutions have to be scalable, repeatable, and to be adapted into the variety of urban situations. Some of the solutions are only possible through technologies that's emerging, but other solutions maybe just simply apply those technology into the old ideas which has been around for a long time. And for cities to embrace and prepare for 4IR wave, the cities have to be able to measure the progress they're making so that they can adjust as the world changes. World Economic Forum would like to work and seek some kind of protocol to prepare a city for the 4IR waves. 3 purposes for this work. One is to be able to provide a means and incentive for cities to monitor the progress they're making for the preparedness. And second, it has to give a platform to be able to gather a variety of data city generates. It's from the traffic to health to education to water systems, the variety of data. And then third is use of technology like blockchain to give open and distributed and inclusive platform where new policy making and consensus building can be possible. So I like to, I do look forward to the conversation today with this distinguished panel and learn and engage with the conversation how we can prepare our cities with fourth industrial revolution. On that note, Alice.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Makiko. You're very welcome, everyone, to this discussion on cities and the fourth industrial revolution. Before I introduce our distinguished panel, I'm very broadly going to introduce the concept behind this idea of the cities and the fourth industrial revolution. So we're living in an urban world, and we're seeing people rapidly moving to cities. We see that 54% of the world's population currently lives in cities, and the UN predict that by 2050, that will be 2/3 of the world population. Although European Commission research very recently said that could be as high as 80%. So we're very much going to be living in an urban world. We're also seeing today that cities are on the verge of major transformation. And what is driving that transformation? It's the fourth industrial revolution. And what we're seeing is that information and communications technologies combined with the ubiquity of sensors through the Internet of Things and the actionable knowledge progressively unleashed by data management and analysis is opening a whole new range of possibilities for cities. And this is managing the physical, the economic, and the social spheres of cities. We're seeing that sensors are being seamlessly integrated into interconnected networks. This is, however, only one way of managing technologies and shaping the fourth industrial revolution. We're seeing innovations from rapid advances in artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, virtual reality, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, material science, energy storage, quantum computing are combining to transform cities. So It's not just CEOs that are thinking about the fourth industrial revolution. It's mayors, just like the mayor who's on our panel here today, who are thinking about how they can prepare for the fourth industrial revolution in their cities around the world. In this session, what we want to explore is how cities are preparing. In particular, we're going to focus on the challenges that cities are facing, what they're doing to address those challenges and prepare for the fourth industrial revolution. We're going to draw out the aspects that cities are including in that, including visionary leadership, local innovation ecosystems, the smart regulation required, also the global standards that are required, if any, as well as public-private collaboration models. So I'm going to very briefly just introduce who's going to be on our panel. I'm going to ask them to say a couple of words about themselves. So first of all, I'm just going to introduce Toshiko Mori. And Toshiko, maybe if you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hello, this is Toshiko Mori. I'm an architect in New York City, and also I teach at Harvard University Graduate School of Design in Architecture Department.
Thank you, Toshiko. And now if I could ask Mayor Takashima to just briefly introduce himself.
Nice to meet you. I'm Soichiro Takashima, Mayor of Fukuoka City. I would like to talk about what 4IR means for cities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now if I could ask Mr. Tobe from Hitachi to introduce himself as well.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I'm an engineer which mainly engaged in the urban development. And today I'd like to talk about something about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, if I could ask Mr. Nakagawa and to introduce himself, who's also known as Max, I believe. So we'll get into that later.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Max Nakagawa from DENSO Corporation. And usually we expatriate. We live in overseas only 4 or 5 years. But in my history, totally 19 years I was in the overseas operation, and just last year I came back from Germany. So that's why my name is Max. But same time, I am a guest professor of Hiroshima University. Today, I would like to talk about our technology and how can we contribute to this future mobility society. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for introducing yourselves. And for everybody in the audience, we really want to bring you into this conversation today. So before we start, maybe if I could ask you if any of you have any particular thoughts on what you would like to get out of this session. Is anybody would like to contribute to make sure that I weave that into the conversation today? Any thoughts? If you don't have any thoughts, it's no problem, we can carry on. But if anyone has anything pressing that they'd like to have in the conversation, do shout. No? Okay, so we'll get going. So what we're going to do is, first of all, Toshiko is also a member of the World Economic Forum Global Future Council on Cities and Urbanization. So what is that? That is our think tank that's very focused on the future of cities and where cities are going to move towards as we reach 2030. And she's done a lot of work with the forum on various publications, such as the top 10 urban innovations, data-driven cities, agile cities, and so on and so forth. So Toshiko is very briefly going to introduce those papers, so they're food for thought for the audience and food for thought for the panel discussion. Then we're going to have the mayor, who's going to introduce the perspective of his city, the challenges that he's encountering, and the solutions that he's bringing to bear. And then we will have the contributions of Hitachi and DENSO, who are going to talk about some of the innovative practices that they're introducing around the world. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Toshiko, who's going to introduce the work that she's been involved in at the World Economic Forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. So if I could, we have so many reports. It's going to be a 3-hour lecture, so I'm going to really briefly introduce. The first one we did was 10 urban innovations, and it really focuses on unleashing space capacity, cutting out peaks, and small-scale infrastructure thinking in people-centered innovation. So the examples, 10 innovations we found actually being practiced in many different cities. And that was 2016. And then last year, we have developed data-driven cities 20 stories of data stories, our digital traces, how that can be used. And we understand that data provides access, it promotes participation, and also we predict that big data is going to soon become an open source, open data to be used by everybody, and how to make cities better with limited resources and to create new strategies for new economy. And there are 3 data types. One is opportunistic, another one is purposefully sensed, and another one is user generated. So it's actually proliferates all over us. And 5 categories we looked at are people, economy, governance, infrastructure, and environment. In the people category, it really focuses on behavioral change. In economy, it's really reworking economy for inconspicuous consumption, such as wellness, education, food, and culture, things that's not visible, but as you can imagine, all these big cities, industries, major industries are service industries, so people are not consuming goods, but services and invisible issues. And also to explore blockchain, to experiment with decentralized transactions. In the governance, we looked at ways more open and responsive, inclusive governance is being practiced by citizen participation for municipalities, and a civic radar for public-facing crime forecasting platform, for example, or GIS tracing and planned settlements in developing countries. The 4th, infrastructure, is to create new urban fabric and better use of existing infrastructure by using smart technologies like tracking congestions, reduction waste water, and also telemedicine to help first respondents to triage in emergency services to make the services more efficient. The 5th, in environment, is a balance of man-made environment with natural resources to design with sustainability in mind, in mapping urban trees, and also dynamic bike signage up in Copenhagen, which wants to increase the share of transportation from currently 41% to 50%, and also it helps to respond to natural disaster response. It's all about sharing data and public participation, and also abilities for cities to scale up. Now, the Agile Cities, the report we have just published, is direct response to 4th Industrial Revolution. As Alice has mentioned, as robotics, AI, 3D printing, automated transportation, and many types of digital innovation, and also hackers that's around. And cities cannot remain static anymore. It has to be dynamic. And as 10 urban innovations were low-hanging fruit, and data-driven cities, stories were deep dive. This is about how adaptable, how flexible, how quickly the cities can respond to need of citizens. And in terms of Agile Cities, data is old once it is produced. So, where you can depend on the data all the time, and it has to be renewed. And it's a less generic approach to city planning. And instead of predicting larger trend, it can look at finer tuning and identify granular trends that can add up. And of course, it has to be elastic, and it has to harness this opportunity to bring agility as defining characteristics of quick adaptation of changing needs. We have identified 8 areas of issues: building, energy, land, mobility, IT assets, security, education, governance. And we really look at in 4th Industrial Revolution, what happens is that physical and digital and biological, they fuse together, and 3 levels of innovation. So in a sense, there's lots of cross-references between those 3 platforms. In buildings, which actually accounts to from 40% to 80% of carbon footprints, how to reduce that, and improve occupant health, and systems integration and interoperation, and real-time performance monitoring. It's going to be extensive use of sensory technology to use and look at buildings not as static objects, but more as an organism that's living with humans occupied in it constantly. The land planning is also management using temporary and diverse ways of distributions, adjacencies, and integrating systems, diversification, smart use, and then compatibility. In the way, if you can imagine the farmers use land to plant different crops efficiently, it's a little bit like that, this kind of adaptability to time and season. Energy is really a decrease the loss, facilitate transition to renewables, and to provide diversified energy resources, give people many different choices, and then switch from one mode to the other depending on capacity and availability. Mobility is flexible infrastructure, and also partnering with navigation devices to effectively inform public what will be the best mode of transportation to give them choices. Agile IT assets is about convergence of services. It increased capabilities and also storage, increased connectivity and automatic troubleshooting, scalability, and lowering resource consumption by using IT assets. So agile security, which the sixth one is a very important one, is a smarter policies and prevention strategies, and big data and macro data to identify resource distribution, and then recreating or monitoring and also predicting patterns to make a safer society. In this question, idea of ethics becomes important, how to protect civil rights and privacy, and as well as balancing it against safe society. Agile education is a very important factor for us, because if the education system stays static, it can be left behind. It cannot produce students in next generation that can adapt to agile economy and agile cities. And in that case, education as more of a curator, less than fixed curriculum, adaptable framework, and perhaps a disruptive mode of education, such as 42 Silicon Valley, which is disrupting engineering education, and also coming up with a new pipeline for talent by peer-to-peer education, project-based education, a new framework, and more to do with prototyping and also process and results-oriented concept. The eighth, the last one, Agile Government, in which silos are broken and transformations as part of culture of government, and it continues to pervasively innovate, allows innovation and failures as a result, and transparent service delivery and distribution from bottom-up leadership, in a way actually denying perhaps meritocracy as a result, open data sharing, constant stakeholder engagement. In short, Agile Government will not do a strategic plan, but it will really look at planning as evolutionary. And public policies are tested and prototyped and address citizen needs. So I think these are the results of what we are trying to do to identify. It's an ongoing work of our council. I think that in short, it's really about how to harness the opportunities and best prepare ourselves and the cities for the fourth industrial revolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toshiko. I think that provides food for thought for the panelists and indeed for the audience. And what we'd like to do next is sort of move into a more interactive discussion. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce the mayor. I think that we'd really like to hear the city's perspective about the types of challenges that you're encountering in your city and how you're preparing to address the fourth industrial revolution. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Alice. Fukuoka City has been working together with the World Economic Forum to take on challenges for sustainable urban development. First of all, I would like to talk about what 4IR means for cities. Japan is becoming a super-aged society with a low birth rate. Our cities face many challenges for providing better measures for our elderly residents, such as how to secure their mobility and the way of shopping, and how to address the problem of wandering caused by dementia. When AI connects a city with big data, technologies like sensors and self-driving will help the city improve its productivity and overcome its challenges. However, wait a minute. Something trouble. Okay. Okay. However, in order to promote this revolution, we need to develop human resources. When 4IR makes a society where AI takes the place of people by doing their jobs, education for next generation IT personnel like engineers and programmers will become more important. On the other hand, re-education of the current generation will also be necessary. In addition, we need areas to show how to apply such innovations in our cities. We Japanese are timid and fearful. We hesitate to try new things. We have never seen a self-driving car on public road. We cannot carry something out because of too many concerns. Therefore, first, we practice innovation in a limited area to showcase it to citizens and remove their concerns. Then we expand its application to wider areas. I believe this is the best shortcut. However, it is difficult to implement innovations in a city. Existing systems and the infrastructure are not changed so easily. So creating from scratch is faster. In order to do this, we need a big area of land in the city center with business potential, convenient transportation, and a bustling atmosphere. But the land also needs to be vacant with no residents, leading to a high degree of freedom for development. Local government leadership and motivated private companies are essential. Such an ideal development area cannot be found in the world. But wait. I found the only place like this. It is actually in Fukuoka City, and I am mayor of Fukuoka City. Thank you. And it's in Hakozaki area in Fukuoka City. Hakozaki area. It is the vacant land close to the city center. It is the former campus of the university that transferred to the suburbs. It has a huge area, the same as the area spreading from Roppongi Hills to Toranomon Hills in Tokyo. It is in the National Strategic Special Zone, which enables collaboration with the national government. How amazing! We are planning to develop this area as a world-level super smart city. We have an increasing number of contacts from global innovators who want to take on challenges. Financial institutions have already paid attention to this project. The Japan Research Institute and SMBC offered a cash prize to support startup challengers. Big companies like Fuji Xerox and Seino Transportation will test their next generation delivery robot in Hakozaki, this area. I would like to recommend those of you who are gathering here today not to miss this chance. I am worried that you will be blamed by your boss or shareholders for not doing anything with such great opportunity. Finally, I am concerned that Japan's international competitiveness will decline if we are not more aggressive. I am determined to take on challenges so that Fukuoka City will be a role model for putting innovation into practice in Japan. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mayor. You've heard it all here. If you want to be involved in a fourth IR city in Japan, you've got to talk to the mayor. So we've heard the very particular challenges that the mayor has identified in his city in Japan, but I'm very conscious that we have people that also work all over the world. So maybe if I could just ask Toshiko very briefly, if you could just comment on any other major urban challenges that you're encountering in any cities around the world, other than what has been identified by the mayor.
Yes, the biggest challenge actually is just two at different scale. One is underdeveloped cities. There's an incredible amounts of Southern Hemisphere, South America, in Africa, all over. Youth population is skyrocketing. It's opposite of Northern Hemisphere. And they actually don't have a capacity right now, but many of the places in Africa and South America, they're leapfrogging into second and third. They didn't have electricity. They're going straight into fourth industrial revolution. And I'm seeing Southeast Asia, that's actually happening. And they might actually be faster than the cities which already has gone through first, second, third. You have to understand, so that's actually one thing. Another danger is actually, I have to say, if we are so dependent on data-driven fourth industrial revolution, in Japan, there's a group called Space Sweepers. There's so many garbage. There's actually a danger of satellite colliding. So you have to just not depend on it, and you have to be prepared for other devices in case the data-driven IT technologies fail. So those are two challenges in this urban innovations as I can see.
Very interesting points. I suppose we do believe that the fourth industrial revolution will allow cities to leapfrog several stages of development. But coming back to your point about the dangers of reliance upon data, like I guess that was very well played out in Atlanta this year, where there was a major cyber attack, and we've seen the impact that it had on the city. Also, just Hitachi obviously works all over the world. So maybe if you could talk, Mr. Tobe, about your perspective on the big challenges you're seeing that cities are finding.
Thank you. Actually, I engaged urban development for over 10 years, which is not all over the world, but in Japan. Kashiwanoha, it takes about 30 minutes by train. And I learned a lesson that important thing is not the technology, not the systems, but the important thing is how to share their issues and priorities with stakeholders. As a matter of fact, I first take part in that project. We have no solution to provide that urban development, but because of the Great East Japan earthquake, they are shared with the resilient city. So that will give us some idea to provide the area energy management system in that city. But important thing is not the technology, but the issues and the priority, depending on each areas. That's very important. So Fukuoka city's area, maybe the Takashima-san will the good perspective of the aim. That is very important. That is one lesson I learned from that project. And in that case, we need a collaboration with academic side, public companies, and the local government, and also the living people in that city. That's the center of the issues, right? The second thing I will tell you the story is Hitachi's experiment of the how to apply the AI and big data to our daily life. That is effectiveness of the call center inbound and outbound, like Japanese Takada, right? And in that case, all the people thought the productivity really depend on the operator's skill. But according to using the name card sensor, we found that from that big data that there is no relation with the productivity and scale of the operators. But that data gives us a new direction that really depend on not the working time, but the refresh time. If the operator's refresh time is active, then the productivity will increase. If the 10% activeness will occur in refresh time with the operators, that will increase the 13% of the outcome, the productivity will increase. So this kind of idea, we cannot find those kind of correlation between the productivity and the operators. So those kind of application of the 4IR will be needed. Not just applying the AI or big data. That is only a tool. So important thing is that issues and aim and how we apply it is very important. Thank you.
Very interesting perspective. You're really drawn out that you need to know your local context and remember you're finding solutions for people. So also, if I could just bring in the perspective of DENSO. So, you're working on innovative solutions to address some of the big urban challenges around the world. Do you maybe want to talk about some of the solutions that you're employing?
Again, thank you very much for taking this opportunity. And today, I would like to explain about our idea and thoughts. But the first thing, we think what is the issue, especially in Japan. So there are 3 points. And as Takashima-san mentioned about the first one is the aging society. In Japan, especially for men, 81 years old, and for women, 87 years old, this lifespan extended. That is one of the, not issue, but our concerns. But the second item is that the population. In Japanese, kasoka, or in other words, great urbanization, daitoshika. This is also, you can imagine, in the countryside, especially older people living there, and also young generation people coming to the big city. That is, I think, second point. The third point is, it is a global issue, but the fatal traffic accident, that is, I think, a big issue. And according to the analyst, 1.25 million people die every year. That means 12 people die in 5 minutes in the world. So we DENSO, as an automotive sector, automotive supplier, we would like to, encourage or accelerate the development of autonomous driving. So autonomous driving is one of the solutions, we believe that. And but just I would like to recap this autonomous driving. This is not easy driving. The motivation is, please understand, this is the, I want to explain another way. The 96 of traffic accident is caused by human error. So we would like to eliminate this human error. This means if we can replace with a system, as a vehicle system. In this case, we can reduce dramatically for this traffic accident. That is a driving force. Please understand this point. Then, can I use this material? So we prepare this few slides, but especially toward 2030, we DENSO team, we have been discussing what should we do, what kind of society we should do that. So in this slide, as you can see, the y-axis, people traveling or moving, or product or goods moving, that's the bottom side. On the other hand, x-axis, this is the emerging country or developed country. And in this forementioned, we picked up 5 items. One is a fund drive, second is a value worth paying, and third is a happy transportation, and the fourth is emerging nations development. And last one is a smart logistics. So I would like to explain just quickly because I do not have enough time. So could you please show the number 3? Yes. Happy transportation. This is a, you can see the multi-modal. So we DENSO team we invested the Mars Global Company, which is a Finland company. So from A to B, by using the your smartphone, how can we go to the from A to B? The most convenient way or most low price and also more safety way. So in this process, today it is not in a technical session, but as you can imagine, this January, Toyota Corporation, they mentioned about their concept, e-pallet. So, for example, Toyota mentioned e-pallet, but the German company, one of the German companies, they mentioned about the Ego Mobile. So concepts are very similar, but between 5 to 10 people, car sharing and with automatic driving. So we can travel from A to B. But the issue is from the first 1 mile or last 1 mile. This vehicle cannot go to the final destination. Therefore, first 1 mile and the last 1 mile, we would like to contribute. Yeah, for example, we call e-bike, electric bike, or electric scooter. Those kind of, this is also sharing. So those kind of service is, I think, good for our future mobility. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. We're really seeing such a huge investment drive in micro-mobility, as they call it, in e-biking and e-scooting at the moment. I guess it started in China and it's spreading very rapidly. And it's really presenting a lot of regulatory issues for cities, which is something that we will come on to in a few minutes. At the World Economic Forum, we believe that if cities are going to transform, it requires cities to do a number of things. One is you need visionary leadership, and that's very much from the mayors, from the civil service within the cities. Also, you need to create the local innovation ecosystems. So that's connecting the universities with the cities, with the startups, with the corporates, and really allowing innovation to spring up within the city to solve many of the problems, which of course we've heard from Hitachi that you need to remember the local context. The third thing we think is very important is around smart regulation, ensuring that you have the right enabling framework and the right policies in place to transform a city. And also, we believe that there's some requirement for global standards, although that will be probably debated amongst the panel in a few minutes. And finally, we think it's really important to have public-private collaboration. So what I want to do is actually touch upon those points with our panelists here today. And as we are lucky enough to have a mayor on our panel, I'd really like you to maybe talk a little bit about the visionary leadership that you believe that mayors need to have to try and embrace the fourth industrial revolution, how you can build a capacity within your civil service to adapt. So if you were advising a mayor in another part of the world and they said to you, how do you create the leadership to adopt to the fourth industrial revolution, what would you say?
日本語でお話しさせていただきたいと思いますので、やはりまず大きなビジョンを市民とともに共有するということが大事だと思うんですね。でというのもこれから町の生産性というものをどう上げていくか、これは一つ一つの企業 のサービスの生産性を上げるということが今企業に求められているんですが、町全体としても大きく生産性を上げていかなければいけないという問題意識を共有するのは非常に大事かというふうに思います。でそれはこれから日本においては特に少子高齢化、人口減少の時代になっても公共サービスをどのように適切に、供給をしていくかというのは非常に大事な課題になってきます。その上でこの第4次産業革命でありますとかテクノロジーを街に実装していくというのは大きな力になっていくというふうに思います。でその上ではたくさんのその関係者を巻き込んでいくということが非常に大事になってきますので、まずトップとしてですね、そのビジョンを市民の皆さんと共有をするということがものすごく大切になってまいります。でもう一つ、それをどのようにスマートに実装していくかってなると、これは既存市街地において新しいイノベーションを入れていくっていうのは市民の皆さんとても見たことがない新しいものが街に入ってくることに対してものすごく不安感があるんですね。でこうしたものを解消していくためにはまずもう目で見せるっていうのがとてもこれは大きな力を発揮すると思っています。今自動運転とかもちろんセンサーの見守りとかこうしたものは今こういう場でとても議論はされているんですが、実際に公道で走っている姿を見た人はいないわけですね。ですからドライバーが乗っていない車が目の前をビュンビュン走っていくのはとても怖いことだというふうに思ってしまうわけです。そこで福岡市のやり方としては、まず例えば自動運転に関しては今九州大学という大学の中で実際に車を走らせています。それで多くの市民がそれを見ることによってその不安感のハードルを下げていくということができるんですね。そしてもう一つが例えば、センサーによる見守り、これも実は福岡市は、その IoT の電波をキャッチできるローラワンというネットワークを福岡市全体に独自で張り巡らしているので、認知症とか徘徊の可能性がある方に今実証実験でセンサーを持ってもらってるんですね。携帯電話だと1日で電源切れてしまいますが、こうした IoT のセンサーだったら1週間以上充電しなくてもずっと身につけた小さいデバイスです。でこうしたことを実際にやっているんですね。このように実証実験で実際にやってみせる、これ多くの皆さんが見るっていうことを積み重ねていくということで心配に対するハードルが下がっていくと思うんです。そして最終的にどういう姿になっていくか、どういう街になっていくかっていうことを共有することが日本全体として大切になってきます。先ほど私が、紹介をした大学の跡地のプロジェクト、これは福岡スマートイーストというプロジェクトの名前です。ここでさまざまなイノベーションをレイヤーとして重ねる、そして最終的なイメージ図というのをこれ市民の皆さんと共有することによって、これは福岡のみならず日本全体のいろんな地域からここを見に来て、そしてこれだったらぜひうちでもやってみたい、これが実は日本全体に、こうしたテクノロジーを社会に実装していく上での非常に早いやり方ではないかというふうに思っています。そしてもちろんその時に市民の不安だけではなくて、今日も皆さんの中で課題は共有されていると思いますけれども、規制の問題があります。規制に関しても私が先ほど提案をしたエリアというのは50ヘクタールの大学跡地ですから、今人が住んでいないんですね。ですから来年誰も住んでいない、でも実際の街とほぼ同じ形であるわけですから、この中で実証実験をするということを今大臣が新しく変わったんですが、スーパースマートシティをここで作っていって、そして、国と一緒になってこのプロジェクトをぜひ進めていきたいというふうに思います。
Thank you very much for that. So you're very much promoting a shared vision that's developed through multi-stakeholder engagement, and that you're able to demonstrate technologies in a designated space so that you can alleviate the concerns of citizens. Very, very interesting perspective. Would anybody else like to comment on that? Just, what advice would you give to mayors in terms of visionary leadership that's required for the fourth industrial revolution? Any of our other panelists?
Well, this kind of leadership is very needed when you create some of the new cities. But most of the cities have don't have any those big areas. So in Kashiwanoha, I'm in Chiba Prefecture. they have some shopping centers, and they are gradually built, each buildings. But after the Great East Japan earthquake, there is something wrong in that area, because there is no backup of each condominiums of the electricity or something like that. So we thought that present buildings have to be organized. So fourth industrial revolution have very important for promoting that kind of movement, but it is not the individual technologies, but integration of those kind of technology and using the old infrastructures with the new infrastructures. That kind of connectivity is very important when you apply the real city. Okay, but according to the Fukuoka City's mayor's view, important thing is to realize that some of the real image, and sharing those kind of images is very important for the with the stakeholders. That's a good idea. But in order to reveal those kind of things, we have to work on the integration of the old one and new ones. That's another technology. Just the sensors or IoT or the 5G is one of the components. We have to combine the old infrastructure and new infrastructures and continually developed. It's very important study areas to think about it. Okay.
Very interesting. I guess just building on that, one of the things that we need to think about is how we repurpose infrastructure that will no longer be required in the age of the fourth industrial revolution. And I suppose many people talk about car parks and some of the roads in that regard, that we will no longer need them. So what do we do to repurpose that type of space? So that's an interesting piece. So maybe if we just focus. Sorry, I think you want to comment from DENSO.
I would like to add some comment about this, matter. But as Mayor Takashima-san said, showcase is important. So, fortunately, last week I visited Germany, Aachen city. So the reason is there is we call it Aachen cluster. So I would like just quickly explain what is the Aachen cluster. Aachen city is not a big city. The population 245,000 people. Not in a big city. However, this is three sectors work together. One is science and academia. So famous university, RWTH Aachen University, that is the core of this university. And the second is industries, private companies. And the third is local government. So Takashima-san's case is Fukuoka city, but in Germany, a little bit different from Japan. So not Prime Minister Merkel, but NRW state. There are 16 states, consists of 16 states in Germany. So each state has individually local government and responsibility. That means NRW state. NRW means North Rhine-Westphalian state. Their economic minister, actually I met with him 2 days ago in one of the Tokyo Sum session, but he invested this Aachen cluster, his budget. And this cluster, actually there are 16 clusters plan, and already six plans already started. So that means 3 academia, and as I said, the private company and startup company, and also government work together. And one of the success story was, fortunately, Takashima-san's slide, Deutsche Post. That he said autonomous logistics driving, but Deutsche Post, they have currently in Aachen city, they have not autonomous driving, but electric vehicle. There are 2 types of vehicle, about, as I said in my memory, 6,000 vehicles, daily base. Deutsche Post means that郵便局, and also DHL. they, as a delivery car, they use this vehicle. So that is from the coming up from the Aachen University and the startup company. It was only 10 people started this project, but nowadays Deutsche Post and DHL bought this company, Street Scooter. The name is Street Scooter. So this CTO, they visited Japan this week. So we had some discussion, but this kind of startup and also collaboration is important. Just I want to mention the three sectors work together, then we can create innovation. That is my point. Thank you.
So you've actually hit upon a very important item, which is, we're making the point that you need local innovation ecosystems if you're going to transform your city. So maybe if I could call upon the academic voice here on the panel, Toshiko, to sort of talk about how universities can engage with cities and startups and corporates in transforming cities.
Right. My school actually engaged with mayor, and our students actually looked at Fukuoka in terms of 10 urban innovations. Because Mayor said, I have a vision, I want to practice 10 urban innovations. So we did a very extensive research, and what we found out, and also this is a very important lesson, fourth industrial revolution, you can't just invent it. You can't just from new to old. It's not possible. It's a very fragile, it's a very dangerous leap. So what our students did is to try to find out opportunities that Fukuoka already has and how that can be transformed into fourth industrial revolution. So in terms of Fukuoka, it had a history of compact cities from 60s. It's very well known. It's one of the most successful ones. You can walk everywhere. From airport, it takes 5 minutes, public transportation to downtown. So, and it's been studied a lot in urban planning, so it has that basis. And when our students look at 10 urban innovation, in fact, Fukuoka already practiced 9 out of 10. And on top of it, it has a very interesting distribution system. And it's really amazing. I told the mayor, you already have a very innovative city, but somehow your sectors didn't talk to each other. Silos were not broken. For example, they already digitally programming. And WaterNet, they are very, very sensitive about water consumption because they really don't have freshwater resources. It's the world class. I think your waste rate is something like 2%. It's really like it's like a world best city in terms of resource management, in terms of water. And adopting a tree, which Melbourne talks about all the time, each citizens, but in this site you have, because they have agricultural department, every single tree is mapped, ready to go on the Facebook, and then just want to adopt a citizen. It's ready to go. So it's very monitored and preserved. And mobility, you have diverse mobility site type, and you have an interesting system called Yellow Bird, as opposed to Croneck or Black Cat. This yellow birds are tiny little cute yellow trucks. What they do is they will deliver something to centralized location, and this little yellow bird truck will distribute delivery at off-peak hours. This is really innovative. No one city is able to do it because, as you mentioned before, public sectors and commercial sectors, they can't negotiate with each other. So I think that's an amazing thing. There's one of the biggest assets you have. You said smart array, automatic thing, and urban farming you have already at university. So university is already experimenting about 5 items already. But I think your biggest asset is it's actually infrastructure for social integration, which is most difficult. Cities have to have this infrastructure. But what is Fukuoka famous for is festivals. It's omatsuri. Everybody loves to, every week, every month. So which means there's an ecosystem in place. Each district has people who are ready to have these festivals and parades, and they're able to self-organize at minute's demand. So this actually makes it really a sustainable ecosystem. So the mayor's visionary, he would say, let's have a festival. Everybody just says, yes, and we can do this, we can do that. So that's really important. So I have to mention that this fourth industrial revolution, in order to have it successful, every city has to look at its own resources, identify it, and then connect to innovation platform. And I was just in different cities in Okayama and Takamatsu. They have the resources, and I think if I look at many global cities, but somehow they would not think of it as innovative platform. So that's actually important. So visionary leadership is able to see that through the big gray mass of bureaucracy, to see the light and then harvest that and to leapfrog into future.
So, Mayor, I have a question for you in addition to responding to Toshiko. You did a wonderful project in your city where working between the municipality and the university and corporates and startups, you have managed to create hydrogen from municipal waste, and it's something that's generated a lot of publicity around the world. Maybe you want to talk about that partnership and how it worked.
はい、褒められついでにもっと言いますけれども、今アリスがおっしゃってくれたのは、それは福岡市は世界で初めて市民の下水汚泥を使ってそこから水素を取り出してダイレクトに車に充填するっていうやり方のガスステーションを作ってるんですね。でこれが、世界で唯一でありまして、非常に純度の高い水素を作って車に入れてます。でさらについ、1ヶ月2ヶ月前には日本初の水素で走るトラックを作ったんですね。で今森先生がおっしゃったイエローバードというのは、これは天神地区が実は百貨店がですね、多分世界一レベルで集中してるんです。だからもう街全体が大きなショッピングモールみたいな形になってるんですが、この中の配送でトラックがいっぱいになるのを防ぐために共同配送システムをしているんですね。ですからそのイエローバードという共同配送のトラックでもう百貨店、どの百貨店専用じゃなくてみんなでそれをして交通負荷を抑えているという取り組みをしているんです。でそのトラックをさらに、2ヶ月ほど前から新しくですね、水素トラックというのの、結構これ普通の水素カーよりも相当負荷がやっぱりかかるもので開発大変だったんですが、日本初で作ってこれを走らせているというようなこともしています。で福岡の特徴はですね、というか多分その世界の中でメガシティってやっぱりその全体のなんていうのか合意を取り付けるってすごく難しいんですが、ちょうど100万人都市政令市レベルっていうのは非常に合意を取るのがやりやすいんですね。産学官民という部分で非常に垣根が低いというところが非常に特徴でもあります。またもう一つこうしたプロジェクトを成功に導くためのポイントとしては、リーダーが必ず最後までコミットをするということなんですね。リーダーがあまりビジョンが明確ではない、もしくは誰かから聞かされたビジョンであると、誰かにお願いをして指示を出してそのまま目線を外してしまうと、そのプロジェクトって必ず止まってしまうんですね。なぜなら指示された人がもともとしたかったわけじゃないから。だから最後までリーダーがそのコミットし続けるということはものすごく大事かと思います。今私はプロジェクトをお話ししたものはかなりショートカットして話してるんですね。現実問題はというと、さっきのスマートイーストの話であっても、やはりそのディベロッパー、もしくはあれ大学跡地ですから文科省ですよね。できるだけ早くお金に変えたいわけですね。例えばあそこの話じゃないですが、例えばエネルギーも水素っていう貯められるエネルギーを使ってこの街全体を分散型のエネルギーもしたいと思っているんですが、例えばそのディベロッパーからすると、例えば少しでもリスクがあるようなこととか開発に遅れる、もしくは制限がかかるようなことは別にスマートシティなんか作る必要がないと。早く高く売れればいいんだ。しかもこんないい立地ですからマンション作った方が確実にお金になるわけですね。でこういう関わってる銀行だとか、それから文科省、それから財務省、たまたま私知ってるので財務大臣にも絶対にせかすなというお願いをですね、麻生さんにもできますし、なんとかやってますけれども、やっぱり全体最適、これから10年20年30年後の国を考えて、 全体最適を考えるっていうのはリーダーにしかできないことで、どうしても関わってる皆さんそれぞれの部分最適を考えてしまって、そこの圧力にも負けないためにも町のリーダー、国のリーダー、がしっかりコミットし続けて、そのビジョンというのを繰り返し言っていくっていうことは、たくさんのステークホルダーに対して同じビジョンを共有していく、それが結局短期的にはもしかすると足かせになる部分があるかもしれない、スピードダウンになることがあるかもしれないけれども、もう少し中長期で見たらこれが最大により価値を生むんだっていうビジョンを共有することはすごく大事かというふうに思います。
Thank you very much. Very insightful. So we've heard the benefits of visionary leadership, and we've heard about the need to create local innovation ecosystems. I'd like to talk about smart regulation just a little bit. So the policies that are required at national government level, regional government level, city government level, to make some of these innovations real. And maybe if I could start with the business community in the first instance to talk a little bit about the enabling environment that's required. So first, if I could turn to Hitachi, to Mr. Tobe, do you want to perhaps talk a little bit about what's required from a regulation point of view?
I will show you one of the example at Kashiwanoha, but before that, I had a yellow bird. It's not the Sesame Street, but the but the logistic mechanism. One example is in Kashiwanoha there is a retention basin. Retention basin is to prevent the overflow of the river. That area is the basin to accumulate the heavy rain. Okay, that area used to be restricted by the barbed wire. Nobody can enter in that area. But the heavy rain occurred once 30 years or something like that. But big area is the not entered area. But collaboration and some of the residential people and developer and conversation with local government, how to use that retention basin for the living people. So according to prevent the heavy rain overflow, some of the regulation restrict to entering that area. But the living people have to take a walk inside of that retention basin. So they have some conversation and put some kind of cameras and some kind of lamp. If it's a heavy rain, it turns red. And there are several cameras which grasp some of the image of that area and transfer to the smart center. And that is a private side role. So discussion with and conversation with the local government, Chiba Prefecture and Kashiwa City will develop that area for the walking area. So that kind of new relation between the public and private will be needed. As for one department of the Japanese government is clearly restrict to entering that area because to prevent the heavy rains disaster. But we need some collaboration with the public and private sectors in order to apply the more efficient way to use the land and use the technologies. And I'm not quite sure about the 4IL's regulation, but those kind of new relation will be needed and to create cities.
You touched upon two areas there, smart regulation and the need for greater public-private collaboration, which is what we're going to come on to next. So maybe from DENSO's perspective, do you want to talk about what you believe needs to take place in terms of smart regulation?
Yes, regulation or standardization issue is, I think, very important for us. And this is my business card. So you can see the QR code. I forget when, but a long time ago, we we invented this QR code, and we contribute to the society. I think this is a big, good for the society, but it was a funny story. But at that time, the president, he said, "Oh, we missed it. If we would see some patent, we can get lots of profit." But that was a joke. Don't write that. So, but anyhow, standardization is very important. And actually, I lived in Germany 14 years, as I said. So German way and Japan way are quite different. And this topic is actually starting from 1 o'clock. I will make some lecture in one of the university in Tokyo. But in Germany way, they said competition field and non-competition field. Those two zones clearly they divided at the early stage of development. But on the other hand, you can imagine Japanese way, because we are suppliers, so we know Toyota-san, Nissan-san, everybody. So basically from 0 to 10, they develop by themselves. That is, I think, strong point in the past. But from now on, autonomous driving or connected, and as I said, I think everybody knows the case, connected, autonomous driving, and shared, and electrification. Those kind of new technology, I think it is very difficult to develop by ourselves. So in this case, a German company, they said VDA, German Automotive Society, from our viewpoint, why they talk this, discussion? Because this is, I think, compliance issue. But they talk each other. If this is a non-competition field, then after that they will focus on their resources, input their manpower and money, budget, and everything. So therefore, this development technology and development ways, I think, very important. And one of the examples is, as I say, same as Hitachi-san, when I was there, the autonomous driving also 5G for mobile phones, 5G is one of the key technology. Therefore, we tried to join the 5G. But at that time, you can imagine in China and the USA and Europe, actually specification different. And also the band of the frequency also now not decided yet, and protocol also. Therefore, we would like to join in that commonize worldwide 5G. Therefore, 5G AA, that is 5G automotive associations we joined. And recently, I think many companies joined, not only our supplier, but of course OEM and chip maker, Qualcomm or those companies. So those members, I think we need to standardize the same spec, then contribute to their society. That is, I think, important. Thank you.
It's very interesting. You're calling for global standards, particularly in the area of 5G. Would anybody else like to comment on that in terms of global standards? I see Toshiko.
Right. Also, when you talk about regulations using technology and software, it's not as if you make rules, do this, do that. There's an interface of software which can do many things, and you can actually hack it. So the software company are really developing this thing called code ethics, in which technology is built from decisions by many people. It's actually built by people. So if the technology and also software do not have value built into it, it could be misused really easily. So the danger here is that smart vehicles and auto vehicles can be weaponized. If it's not, you can't tell by code, don't use it, because people will misuse it. So how do you prevent misuse, and how do you keep it safe? So the software companies are realizing that unless they have built in ethics in the programming and code, it's going to be a very dangerous going ahead. So I think it's something which is really coming up. And as you can see, even the Facebook misuse of their platform by cyber attacks. And then how are they ignorant? How are they not prepared, right? And then how do you make a moral judgment? What's good? So in a sense that regulations has to actually take place in much higher level, and it's beyond the government, because it's people who want to misuse it will misuse it, and how to represent it. And at the same time, one can make a software which has a relationship of STEM to human, society, and life. You can actually make that opposite, in a sense, productive, positive software. So we are living in a very, very different society, and so it's kind of something we have to really rethink, change of thinking about notion of regulations.
Interesting. So you're, I guess one of the things that you're hinting at there is in developing regulation that cities need to think outside standard systems and need to start to look at what data is coming from the Ubers and the Twitters and the Facebooks that could inform their future policy. Yeah.
So I think regulators really have to do code experts. In a way, they really have to understand the technology and how its code is used and how it applies to different government, different uses, and really understand what's appropriate software to use for different cities.
Interesting. So, as we have a mayor, is there any comments you would like to make on one, smart regulation, what's required to enable fourth IR, and you can think very much in the city context. But the second thing is organizations like the International Telecommunications Union are focused on developing global standards for smart and sustainable cities. And I'd just like to get your thoughts on that as well.
なんていうか、今結局技術、それから商品化の方が早く進んでるわけですよね。それで新しく福岡っていうのは今スタートアップにとても力を入れていて、新しいサービス、新しい商品というのを生み出すものをとてもこう後押しをしているんですね。でもこうして新しくできた価値、新しくできたサービス、商品というものは、それはこれまで法や規制が想定してなかった新しい価値なので、その新しいサービスやテクノロジーを生み出すのは民間だけれども、どういう社会であるべきかを決めるのは政治なんですよね。ですから今お話にあったように、その規制を作る人、そしてさらにその規制を作る省庁をさらにどんな社会であるべきかを規定するのはこれは政治なわけであって、だから政治というところの人たちがいかにそのテクノロジーを含めた未来の社会ということを想像できるかっていうことが、それがやっぱり法規制をこれからこう作っていくと思うんですね。でこういうものをですから想定というか規制を作る、法を作っていく人たちがどれだけそのテクノロジーに対するリテラシーを高くするか、また第4次産業革命、そしてそうしたものと AI とデータとが結びついたときに、世界全体がどれだけ最適化されて生産性が上がって、より貧困がなくなり、そして環境負荷が低減されるかというこのビジョンを、それをその起業家ないしは社会起業家とかイノベーターだけではなくって、政治分野とかこういうジャンルの人たちとも共有をしていくっていうのは、すごく根本の話としてとても大事だなということはつくづく感じます。
Okay, thank you very much. So you've heard great examples from across the world, from a city here in Japan, from Hitachi and DENSO. You've heard about visionary leadership, you've heard about smart regulation, you've heard about innovative ecosystems, you've heard about the need for public-private collaboration and global standards. So we now have a few minutes for audience questions. So if anybody would like to ask a particular question, I'd ask you to introduce yourself and your question. Is there anyone with a pressing question? Gentleman here in front of me. I can see him, so he's picked first.
So I guess in terms, it's probably safe to say that cities are increasing in size the world over, and they're draining the population. Excuse me, sorry. They're kind of draining the population from the the surrounding countryside. So I'm wondering if, first of all, that's true for your city, and secondly, does that result in greater density for housing, for instance? Is the metropolitan area expanding? Is the height restriction being raised? And then secondly, more generally, in terms of sustainability, you see a lot of urban regeneration projects through adaptive reuse and mixed-use rezoning. And I'm wondering whether Japan, for instance, has any plans to embrace sustainability in this way, in the sense that you can, extend the lifespan of buildings, because Japan, I think, by comparison, has a relatively short building lifespan. I think compared to Germany, for instance, which is an equally, sustainably forward country.
I think the first question was around the sort of rural to urban migration pattern, if your city is experiencing that, and second was around expanding the lifespan of buildings within your city.
はい、いわゆるそれは東京一極集中と、よく言われる話になるわけですけれども、今、福岡は逆にじゃあ東京一極集中しているかというと、福岡は実は人口増加率は東京よりも高いんですね。そして、開業率も今日本で唯一4年連続 7% 台をなっていて、でそれはどうしてかというと、単純にじゃあ都会に一極集中するからそこの人を無理やり持ってこようと思っても、人が移住するということは仕事が変わる、子どもの学校が変わる、医療のレベルが変わる、その文化体験のレベルが変わる。ですから簡単にその移転ってやっぱ難しいんですね。そこに住む人がやっぱり一番そこに愛着がある人がそこでやっぱり自分たちの街をよりやっぱり楽しくしていくっていうことがやっぱり一番大切なやり方だと思うんですね。そこで福岡ではもちろん本社機能の移転っていうことももちろんいろいろと力は入れていますけれども、ここで本社を作り出していく、ここで新しい価値を作り出していくという空気を作るっていうことを一生懸命やってきたんですね。リスクを取る人が尊敬される街になるという街づくりをして、それでスタートアップっていうところに力を入れて、で新しい価値を一番作りやすい街がここなんだっていう、そういう発信を続けることによって今たくさんの企業が福岡で生まれて、そして外から入ってくる数、そこから子どもも毎年1万5,000人ずつ生まれているわけですね。ですから決してこれ東京でなければ人が集まらないわけではないというロールモデルも福岡は作ろうというふうにしています。それから、ゾーン規制等にで、ちなみに一極集中も逆に今度は福岡の場合は九州っていうアイランドがあって、その九州の中で一極集中じゃないかというふうに言われるわけですね。ただやっぱり物事には段階があるので、いきなりスーパー山の中に人は行かないと思うんですね。ですからやはりまず東京から各都市の政令市に、そして政令市から各地方都市にという形でそういう流れを作っていくっていうのが一番スマートな流れかなと思っています。それから、福岡っていうのは今確かに人口が増えています。そういう中でゾーニングをとても大切にしています。ゾーニングをしていくためにはマスタープランが大事になります。ですから私が市長になって一番最初にやったのはマスタープランを変えるということです。25年ぶりに変えました。そしてまずその町の周辺部の環境は残す、ここは開発をさせないエリアにして山をしっかりと育てる。でこれによってこれはイコール海を育てることにつながっているわけですね。ですから福岡市は政令指定都市であるんですが、魚、漁業のその取扱高っていうのは日本一なんですね。でこういう山と海を育てるゾーニングっていうのをしっかりした上でコンパクトシティ、空港駅港をいわゆる 2.5 キロのエリアに配置する。これは先人の皆さんが今から国より早く50年以上前にできたコンセプトで、公共施設っていうのを全部センターに集めるというやり方をしているんですね。でしっかりそうしたものを維持しながら 福岡っていうのはその町のそのゾーニングをしています。こういうことをキープしているんですね。そして、町のそのマスタープランの中にこれからの進むべき方向性というのを作ったんですが、その時に新しい手法を取ったんです。それは SNS を使ったんです。やはり中央集権で上から落としていくっていうやり方は一番統治をしやすいんですけれども、今 SNS によってボトムアップで町のビジョンを上げていく、そして吸い上げていくっていうことも可能な環境になっているんですね。ですからこの福岡はマスタープランを作るときに市民からの意見を求めて、それをもとにマスタープランを作っていったんです。だからいわゆるその町の市民の納得感を持って町のゾーニング、それからプランを進めることができているということです。で、アセットマネジメントに関しても当然大変重要であって、これはやっぱり市役所等が中心となって公共施設の長寿命化を図っていかなければいけないので、こういう技術的な専門チームを役所内に作ってアセットマネジメントの計画を作っているということが1点。もう一つが PFI、PPP という新しいやり方で、それは建物を行政が作って民間に運営してもらうというこれまでのやり方だと、建物を作った後にその維持管理に実はものすごくお金がかかるということがあったんですね。一方でこの新しい PFI、PPP というやり方であれば、その作った後の運営まで民間に任せるということなんですね。そうするとその最初からその後の運営まで含めた形で設計建築することができるわけですね。これによって建物の長寿命化、それからランニングコストの圧縮、それから常に新しいサービスを展開していって、いわゆるその儲けた分だけ民間のメリットになるというような新しい手法も取り入れています。だから福岡は日本で初めて先日科学館も PFI で作りましたし、こういう手法を作ってアセットしています。
Thank you very much, Mayor. I think we have time for one final question, if there's a question anywhere. Oh, we have one right over here.
Thank you. I ask a question in Japanese. ありがとうございました。先ほどおっしゃったように、個人の方が考えたアイデアがビジネスに乗ってどんどん普及していくと。でそれは先ほど森先生がおっしゃったようにアビュースの可能性もあるからレギュレーションが必要だと。でやはりその市民の参加っていうのを市長がおっしゃったんですけども、本当に大事だと思って、先ほどおっしゃったボトムアップでそのマスタープランは考えていくというふうにおっしゃって素晴らしいことだと思って、特に市レベルですよね、小さな地方公共団体ユニットだったらそれがもっと可能なのかなと。そうなるとやはりそういうそのテクノロジーがどういうふうに作っていくか使っていくか、それをどういうふうにレギュレーションをするかということを政治といういわゆるその代表民主制にだけに任せないで、やはりそのユーザーであり、それベネフィットを受ける市民もそういった形でそういうその規制の枠組みの中、どういうふうにするかという意思決定の枠組みの中に入れていくっていうのが本筋だと思うんですけども、そのことについてご意見を伺いたいと思います。
連続になってご
I
めん
think
なさ
that's
い。
for the mayor as well.
はい、もちろん今おっしゃる通りだというふうに思っていますし、それがやっぱりその統治をしていく上での難しさっていうところが中央集権じゃなきゃできなかった時代から今は吸い上げる方法ができてきたっていうことがあると思うんですね。でもこの仕組みができても、例えばもちろん市民の意見はできるだけ吸い上げた方がいいっていうのはそれは同意してるから、私もそうやってマスタープラン作りました。でも一方で考え方が根本的に違う人たちもいるわけですよね。そういう再開発などするべきではないと、むしろ街中も全部緑に戻せっていうような人もいるのもこれまた現実なわけです。ですからもちろんなかなか全員のは難しいかもしれません。ただそうした環境、技術環境、デバイスの進歩っていうのが吸い上げることができるようになってきているというのはとても大きなチャンス。でもこれを採用するかしないかはやっぱり結局最後また政治に関わってくると思うんですね。ですからやはり私はその政治というところのリテラシーっていうのがを上げていく、政治家のその技術に対してっていうところのリテラシー、それから技術 AI を ミックスさせた時の最適な未来はどういうビジョンになるだろうっていうところを多くの政治分野の人も共有することが大事ですし、逆に起業家がどれだけ頑張ったって社会変わらないんですね。それは展示会場用のものはできても社会に実装するものにならないんですね。ですからどういう行動をすればその起業家が作った新しいサービスや商品が政治がこういったものを使える社会にしていこうと考えるかどうかっていうのは、それはまた起業家側も政治のことを理解しなければいけない。極論するとですね、選挙がとてもやっぱり大事だということになってくるんです。これは決して私の来月の選挙を指しているわけでもないです。全然ないんですけれども、ただやっぱりそういう政治家っていうのを応援していくっていうことも実はすごく今からジャンルの枠を超えてどれだけ今テクノロジーは最先端を進んでいるのかっていうところを理解する、ジャンルを超える力がある人っていうのがこれからあらゆる分野で大事になってくるんで、政治家もそういう人を皆さん選ぶってすごい大事かなと、自分のことはもう一切さておいて思います。
Alice, one additional comment. Yeah, related. Can I switch to Japanese? 今政治家も大事ということなんですけども、私が先ほど言ってますドイツの NRW 州の、経済大臣が今週来られてて、で彼とお話したんですが、彼のタイトルにましたですね、ミニスター・オブ・エコノミック・イノベーション・デジタリゼーション・アンド・エナジー NRW ステイト and Professor and Dr. アンドレス・ピンクワード。つまり彼と話したのバックグラウンドは彼はエンジニアなんですよ。でドクターディグリーとプロフェッサー、大学でも教鞭していると。だからそういうバックグラウンドを持っている方がNRW 州の経済を考えましたので、彼はアーヘン州、NRW 州ってサッカーの川が言ってるドルトムントもありますし、ケルンボンもありますし、そういう国州なんですけども、彼はアーヘンというところに彼らのバジェットを投入して、でそこでアーヘンクラスターを起こしたと。つまりやっぱりエンジニアリングマインドもあり、かついわゆるソサイティをどうするかというのを考えているというふうに今思いましたので、来月頑張ってください。
So, Mayor, good luck next month. We hope you get re-elected and can do more amazing work. So we're almost out of time. So I just want to sum up a little bit about what we've heard today. So we've heard, first of all, about the fourth industrial revolution involves the physical, digital and biological sectors fusing together. We've heard about the focus on the fourth industrial revolution around we need to focus on people first and foremost. We've heard ideas from the top 10 urban innovations, the data-driven cities, and the Agile Cities report, which the World Economic Forum has produced with our Global Future Council on Cities and Urbanization, which Toshiko is a member of. We've very much heard about the need for visionary leadership, and that needs to be a shared vision, which involves multi-stakeholders in cities if it's going to be bought into. We've heard the idea from the mayor that some of these innovations you can test in a designated area within a city, and that helps to alleviate concerns that citizens have as well. We've very much heard that anything that happens needs to understand the local context, which was pointed out by Hitachi. Yes, some ideas can be replicated in places right around the world, but they need to understand the local context. We've heard about happy transportation, and we've heard about the rise of e-bikes and e-scooting, particularly for the last kilometre or last mile of transportation, as it's often referred to. And we've had a debate around regulation. So that yes, the private sector can come up with new ideas, and it's up to politicians to come up with the regulation to deal with that. And we've also heard about the disruptions that are happening in terms of regulation that are breaking the codes. And we've heard some wonderful practices. Also, we've heard very much that the public and private sector need to work together and deliver public-private collaboration to implement the fourth industrial revolution. So that draws our session to a close, and without further ado, I'd like to hand over to my colleague, who is just going to give some closing remarks.
Oh my gosh. You've done such a good job in summarizing the decision, so I will not repeat what Alice has done, but I do appreciate your participation in this very insightful conversation. As these wonderful panelists demonstrated, the challenges of embracing 4IR is immense. But we all have to work together. We have to vote smarter, and visionary leadership in the discussion we talked about. And I think we have a power collectively to shape the 4IR in the benefit of society and our future. So thank you very much for your participation.